My biggest problem is that I sleep too well. So well, in fact, that I can be thrown into a survival horror game and still be dead asleep in 4 seconds flat. A blood-drenched little girl stood at the foot of my bed, but my snores were loud enough to shake the walls. The corpse of a hanged woman in a painting opened its eyes at midnight, only to see me grinding my teeth in my sleep. When I got too hot in the middle of the night, I rolled over and wrapped my arms around something cool and firm to the touch. It felt nice. The final boss whispered, "Are you going to open your eyes? Or are you just using me as a body pillow?" System, game The Haunting of Crestfall Manor has finished loading. System, player Eva Nightingale has entered the game. System, player rank, C. The moment I materialized in the game, the other players seated around a long, mahogany table erupted. Are you kidding me? We're all A-rank players, and the system throws a C-rank noob in here? Some people will do anything for a few XP, even risk their lives. This one's got a death wish. A C-rank, in Crestfall Manor? I'll bet she doesn't even last the night. 9 men and women sat at the table, all seasoned A-rank veterans who had clawed their way out of countless digital hellscapes. They stared at me as if they'd just seen a ghost, probably horrified that they were now stuck babysitting a rookie. A young woman with a kind face couldn't take the bickering anymore. She stood up. "Everyone, calm down. For a C-rank to be teleported into an A-rank instance, she must have a secret weapon, right? Bullshit. What could a C-rank possibly have? Exactly. How many instances has she even seen? She'll probably piss her pants at the first sign of a ghoul." The woman looked at me, urging, "Well, do you have one? A secret weapon?" I actually did. I thought for a moment, then answered earnestly, "I'm an excellent sleeper." The players fell silent. Then, in unison, "Are you fucking with us?" The livestream chat exploded. "Streamer, it's okay to not have a skill, you know. LMAO, you don't have to embarrass yourself with a skill that lame. Can the streamer just go home? Please just go home." I sighed internally. They had no idea just how powerful a good night's sleep could be. Once the players recovered from their shock, a man in a leather jacket swaggered over to me, looking me up and down with contempt. "You're late. We've already assigned the rooms." He pointed downwards. "The one in the basement is yours." The manor had 3 floors. The A-rank players had, of course, claimed the prime real estate on the 1st and 2nd floors. The room they'd left for me radiated a palpable chill, a coldness I could feel from 10 feet away. The door was smeared with bloody handprints. Pale moonlight streamed through a grimy window, illuminating a large bed in the center of the room. Chat, damn, even I'm getting scared just looking at this through my screen. Chat, everyone knows the ghosts in this instance start spawning from the basement. They're totally screwing her over. Chat, look, she's scared. She's gonna turn around and beg the A-rankers for help. I turned back to the man in the jacket and gave him a bright smile. "Good night." The chat feed filled with question marks. The man, let's call him Jax, was stunned into silence by my calm reaction. I shut the door in his face. Then, in one smooth motion, I kicked off my shoes, changed into my pajamas, and dove onto the bed. A king-sized bed, a single room, and the pillows were velvet. Did anyone understand what this meant to a college girl who'd spent 4 years crammed into a tiny dorm room? This was heaven. I rolled around ecstatically under the covers. Chat, youth is wasted on the young. Falls asleep in a second. Chat, wait, she's actually sleeping? Where does the system find these weirdos? Chat, if she'd just looked up for a second, she would have fainted from fright. Because I fell asleep so quickly, I completely missed the painting hanging over my bed, a portrait of a woman who had hanged herself. This horror instance, The Haunting of Crestfall Manor, was based on a real-life murder-suicide that had wiped out an entire family years ago in this very mansion. A family of 5, all dead under mysterious circumstances. Ever since, the house has been haunted. As midnight struck, the woman in the painting's eyes snapped open, bleeding pupils rolling downwards to look at me. Her voice, a dry rasp, filled the room. "He is my deepest nightmare. I am his closest secret. We share the same blood. Who is he?" I rolled over, tangling my legs in the blanket, and let out a soft snore. The ghost froze for a second, then gritted her teeth and repeated, "Who is he?" I responded with a loud, grating sound as I ground my teeth. The ghost was losing it. She started tearing at her hair and stomping her feet inside the painting. "Who is he? Who is he? Who is he?" Chat, wait, is this allowed? Did she just glitch the game? Chat, how many players have been disemboweled by this ghost for getting the riddle wrong? And she just sleeps through it. Chat, this streamer is a rock. You could start a jet engine next to her ear and she wouldn't stir. The next morning, I woke up from my beauty sleep feeling refreshed. The room was normal, except for the hanged woman in the painting, who was now glaring at me with an expression of profound resentment. A system notification told me to go downstairs for breakfast. By the time I arrived, the long table held nothing but scraps and dirty plates. "Sorry," a guy with bleached blonde hair said, picking his teeth. "I ate your share. A C-rank like you won't last long anyway. Why waste valuable resources?" A girl handed me something. "Here, this was my hot milk. You can have it." It was the same girl who had defended me yesterday. I took it. "Thanks. My name's Elliot," she said. I yawned. "I'm a bit sleepy. Was there anything else? If not, I think I'll go take a nap." Elliot stared at me, speechless. "Something happened on the 1st floor last night. A player died," Jax announced, shaking me by the shoulder. I must have dozed off. "Since there's a room free, the C-rank can have it." I blinked my eyes open, realizing the A-rank players were discussing strategy. "Hey, I'm talking to you. Did you hear me?" I yawned again. Sorry, I drifted off for a second. What were you saying? Jax looked like he was about to pop a blood vessel. Do you think this is a hotel? How can someone so young sleep so much? It wasn't until he opened the door that I understood why the A-rank players were suddenly being so generous. Before me was a little girl's bedroom. A fluffy blue cloud-patterned rug was littered with dolls, and in the center stood a pink princess bed. But a stark contrast to the room's cheerful decor was the massive pool of blood seeping out from under the bed, and the dismembered human limbs scattered across the floor. It was the room where the player had died last night. Chat. Well, sleepyhead Eva is screwed now. Sleeping in here means a guaranteed visit from the little girl ghost. Get ready to be torn to shreds. Chat. The little girl is a mini-boss. You can't just sleep your way past her. Chat. Don't spoil it, guys. See? She's so scared she's running away. Wait. Why is she coming back with a broom? I returned with a broom and dustpan and began sweeping up the body parts with a grunt. Then I took a rag and meticulously wiped every corner of the floor. When I was done, I finished with a spritz of air freshener. Honestly, this little girl, I muttered to myself, no sense of bedroom hygiene at all. After all, a clean and fresh environment is essential for quality sleep. Chat. Did this woman used to be a professional cleaner? Why is she so calm? Chat. When it comes to sleep, our streamer is dead serious. Chat. Everyone else is here to clear the game. She's here doing housekeeping. You could use that floor as a mirror now. Thanks to my daytime chores, I was fast asleep before 10 p.m. In the dead of night, a thick, coppery smell of blood seeped under the door. Creak, the door swung open. A little girl in a blood-soaked nightgown scuttled into the room on all fours, moving like a spider. In a flash, she was on the bed, ready to pounce. My snoring echoed through the room. The little girl froze, then opened her mouth in a silent, jagged scream. I remained still as a log, sleeping like the dead. Chat. Now, little girl, bite her. Do it. Chat. I paid for the premium stream to see some action. I've got my popcorn ready. Chat. Is it just me or is the vibe off? I thought this was a horror game. Why do I feel like I stumbled into an ASMR stream? The little girl shredded the bedsheets with her claws and lunged, her fangs aimed at my leg. I shot upright and, in a fluid motion, threw my thick cotton quilt over her. Trapped and disoriented under the blanket, the little girl thrashed and shrieked. I lifted a corner of the quilt, exposing only her head, and tucked the rest of her body snugly inside. When she saw my face, she started screaming again. I gently pinched her lips together with my fingers. Hush now, little one. No more noise. The girl froze, her large, crimson eyes staring blankly for a moment. I laid her down flat on the bed and patted her gently, as if soothing a child. You poor thing, I cooed. Look at how bloodshot your eyes are. You've been staying up too late, haven't you? At my words, a single, dark tear trickled from the corner of her eye. After a long moment, she slowly closed her eyes. Chat. Is there a game master? Can someone check this? Is this even legal? Chat. Totally legal. That little girl has been haunting this place for decades and no one's ever tucked her in. Sleepyhead Eva just scored major points.